Powerful, powerful, powerful. Big bars are being dropped. All right, so you talked earlier. You spoke earlier about getting your start. Party promoting, and your name was out there, and you weren't necessarily getting paid, but you were getting paid. And so like now you're at a space where you have multiple businesses. You've been in the game for many years.
Right.
You've helped many businesses scale and systemize and things of that nature. Looking back, what money advice would you give your 18-year-old self?
Definitely. There's a quote that we've heard of. It takes a village to raise a child. I think it was Neo. He said it takes a village to raise an entrepreneur. So the advice I would have told myself was, whether it's monetarily or social currency, I would invest it into mentorship. So this can be directed to an 18-year-old, 14-year-old, or their parents.
Right.
Creating a circle of mentorship around that childhood that can grow into what we see even with CEO Trey Brown.
Yeah, fast out to Trey Brown.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that.
His mother.
Yep.
Mentors around him.
14-year-old.
Everybody, I have to really analyze how is he in the position that he's in right now?
Yeah.
The circle.
Right.
The circle of influence, him being coachable, him being aligned with the right information and exposed to the right opportunities. And that's what and again, I trust God's process. That wasn't my process. It wasn't supposed to be my process. But if I had to go back, 18 years from now, right, 15 years, whatever case may be, and say, yo, Maddie, go ahead and do this real quick before I bounce up out of here.
Right.
Oh yeah, invest in some Amazon stock too. When it come up on the total for sure. Make sure your circle is tight and you focus on mentorship and being a mentor.
I love that. And you mentioned Trey Brown, so fast out to Spurgo. And what advice? So now that you are Matty J, you have this experience. What advice would you give to a young person, who's maybe thinking about entrepreneurship, who wants to start? Like, my daughter's 12 years old. So she watches myself, she watches my wife. We both run businesses, so she watches us. She's getting some of that information from us. So like you mentioned, surrounding yourself. But what if an entrepreneur who is a teenager, a younger person, but someone who's looking to start in business, what advice would you give them?
Yes, as long as it's probably around the same lines of, like, think about the basketball players. They started young, but how did they become pro athletes in football and basketball? They started young in training camps, AAU, things of that nature. But we don't have those training camps for entrepreneurship. So whether it's our responsibility to start creating those training camps, or the children's or the young adults to say, yo, we need these training camps, I think that's where it's going to be crucial. Because we can produce LeBron James, well, not LeBron James, but amazing athletes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We can produce those, but we haven't created a training program at a young age to really produce these top entrepreneurs in mathematics, engineering, tech, science that really move and shake the world. I think that's where the real wealth comes from.
I love that. And so, I guess my follow-up question to that though now is, regardless of age, right? 14, 15, 50, 60, 70. You think about what's happening with COVID-19, with job losses, with like some people will look at this time and say, we are living in some tough economic times. And so what advice do you have for the entrepreneur who is, who's having a tough time? Like how do you gotta manage a lot, right? And so how do you, what advice would you give them?
So for me, we blame external reasons for our lack of growth for years.
Whoa. Say that one more time.
We blame external reasons for our lack of growth. And we blame external issues. So one of my favorite lines is, if you say the word issue really slow, it sounds like it's you, right? So that made me tap into personal accountability. And that was hard. That's difficult for people to say, let me not look at over here. Let me just look in the mirror real quick and start working on self-development, personal development, asking myself the right questions so I can look at things internally, spiritually versus externally. So that's the first thing for sure. To the point where I actually created a model to help people with this, personal development. Lauryn Hill says, how you gonna win if you ain't right within? That's literally starts at the internal. Right. So Okay, cool. That's good information. No, but how can we actually make this practical? So I created a model called Splashed. I know educators are really good at turning things and systems into acronyms. So I found an acronym for what I really wanted to teach. Splashing yourself with water, giving a reset. So the S stands for story. If you
All right, hold on, y'all. Let me get this off the screen. All right, peace, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Can you hear me?
I
Can
can.
anybody hear me? You can hear me?
Yep.
All right, welcome to Sincere Love the Godcast. And tonight we have another episode of the Black Business Showcase. I don't know what happened to our timer at the beginning of the show. StreamYard tripping tonight. They didn't give us our timer, our little countdown thing. But I wanted to start the show off with that short clip. That's the brother Matty J interview he did on the Ashcast show. A lot of gems dropped on there for aspiring entrepreneurs. You know what I'm saying? So I would suggest anybody that's looking for some motivation, looking for some gems, to add to what they got going on with their business and their entrepreneurial journey, to go check out that full interview. So again, that's Matty J, and that was on the Ashcast show. So yeah, you can check that out on YouTube. But I wanted to get started with that because there was some valuable gems throughout that whole interview. But I just chose that part right there to get the show started tonight. How you doing tonight, nicety girl?
I'm good. And yourself? I actually wrote some of those jewels down. They were so good. I was like, let me write because I'm visual. I like to write stuff down and think about it as I'm writing it. You know what I mean? I'm just like that. So I actually wrote it down. Issue. It's you.
Issue.
So I
love
love that. I love that.
Yeah. And actually, that's good, man. You know that you're in the habit of writing things down because
Yeah.
it helps you commit things to memory. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Write it down, say it out loud. You know what I'm saying? And
Go
go
back
back
and
to
look
it,
at it again. Yeah.
review your notes. You know what I'm saying? I need to get more in the habit of doing that myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm a visual learner as well, but I'm good at soaking up game and just being a real good listener. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? But I do have a bad memory, so I do need to write stuff down more. I
Well,
got my little I got my little journal over here. I've been getting better with it, but I still need to
I
step it
think a
up.
lot of men have, memory loss issues. Like say, not this is not a gender war, but I literally hear guys always like, man, my memory, like you gotta remind me, make sure you da, da, da." And it's like and maybe it's because there's so much going on. And I think that's why I actually write stuff down because obviously I always doing something and got stuff going on. So I have to write it, but men really be like, my memory ain't good.
I don't know. With me, it might even be a little bit deeper. I don't know where this background came from. We got some little bootleg generic background going on. Maybe I
Yeah.
hit the wrong button when I was trying to place the timer up there. I think that's what I did. I hit the wrong button. Yeah, let me take that off of there. That was corny. That was corny. But yeah, I think it's a little bit deeper with me, man, because I think I got into the habit of suppressing things so much and just keeping it moving and not dwelling on certain issues when I go through things
Yeah.
that you know what I'm saying. I'll be forgetting when it's over. It's over. That's
It's
in the
over.
past. I'm here now. You know what I'm saying. I'm looking toward the future. I'm in the moment. But yeah, I definitely got to get better with my note taking. You know what I'm saying. And I have gotten better. You know what I'm saying. But I'm just still keeping that pressure on myself to step it up even more. You know what I mean. But we got a good show for y'all tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Peace to everybody in the chat. Viewer one in the building. Mama Love in the building. Mama Love, you changed your name over here. I see. Okay, you changed your
Thank
name. You got your
you.
little emoji. What do you call it? Your little avatar
Heart
popping.
emoji.
Yeah, I like that. Jackson Harlem in the building. Appreciate y'all.
Hey,
Make sure y'all hit the like button. Share this out on your social medias and all that. Invite a couple of people to come kick it with us tonight. We
please.
got a special guest in the building, man. What's up, son?
I forgot the name of that chicken.
It's okay. You done? You finished eating?
Uh,
All right, go watch TV till I get finished, okay? Mommy be home in a second. So yeah, like I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by this little midget in my house. We got a special show for y'all tonight, man. Brother that we got coming on tonight. Let me I'm a little all over the place tonight. Usually I'm a little bit more prepared, but my son had a basketball game and I ain't really have time to set things up properly. But let me pull up the brother's bio, man, so I could do this properly. You know what I'm saying? Let me pull up the brother's bio real quick.
We do things very organic over here. You know, we
Yeah,
don't
you
have
know how we do.
we
It's
just
a
very
live
organic
show.
over here, live. And while he's looking that up again, make sure you like, make sure you share, invite 5 friends if you can, please. And
Yep,
thank you
yep,
guys
yep, yep,
for
yep.
coming in with us tonight. We appreciate you guys as usual.
Okay, so our guest tonight is a brother named Kellen Coleman. And Kelman is the founder of Coleman PR and consulting firm, a full-service firm with a focus on social media influencers on an international scale. Kellen has a passion for family, education, business, and travel. With over a decade of experience as a PR professional, he has had the opportunity to serve clients in both the government and private sector. His niche is maximizing the judicious use of social media and influencers for both individuals, companies, and governments. He serves as an international business liaison for several media outlets and is the host and co-host of various podcasts focusing on entrepreneurship and worldwide travel. So we should definitely have a great conversation with our brother that we got coming on with you tonight. And so without further ado, let me just go on ahead and introduce y'all to my brother, Kellen Coleman. How you doing tonight, brother?
Oh, peace, king, peace, queen. All is good. All is blessed. Is that what they wrote about me? I have to make sure that you guys got to make sure when they write the bio, it's like that's what they said. Okay, cool. I appreciate it. Pray for me.
Does that need some
No,
updating or
humble
what?
flex. That was a
They got
humble
you right.
flex.
It is what it is. None of it was a lie, but when you're doing the work, you never really like take a pause break. You're just doing the work. So what we've been doing is just working and working hard.
Respect.
Right.
Give me 1 second. Let me just close this door over here. You could shoot with your first question if you got it handy,
Thank you.
Miss Nicely.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know you're busy. I was when he did the intro, and that jewel you dropped about issue, it's you. I literally wrote that down, and you're the first person that I heard ever say something like that. And I was like, you know how sometimes you say to yourself, "Man, I got issues," right? But and even saying something like that, it's you, right? So what are you going to do to fix it, or make it better? You know what I'm saying? And change the issue, right? Because at the end of the day, it's you, and only we have the power to make whatever changes that we need, to make. We obviously can't depend on, outside sources all the time. Not that you don't, need a team, but I thought that was just so real, and I needed to hear that.
Definitely. That brother was preaching right there, and we both have glasses. But I think I saw that one, and it brings me back to one of my favorite books, Extreme Ownership, because we are where we are because of the actions that we have taken and the things that we've said no to more than the things we've said yes to. So I like that brother's the way he was dropping it down.
Right.
Absolutely. What was that about the clip that we just played in the beginning?
Yeah, I was just telling him how, when he said issue and then he equated that to issue. And I was
Mm-hmm.
saying sometimes, how we say it to ourselves, like, man, I got issues. Well, yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
you, right? So what you gonna do to change the issue, make it better, greater, or are you gonna harp on it, and make it worse, right? It's you, and you have the power to change it. No one can do it for you. Yes, you can soak up information from the people around you and get advice, but it's still you. You got to put the work in. You got to make the steps. I can tell someone all day, but until they make the steps, it's you.
Absolutely. And so, good brother, man. I always like to ask, how did everything start for you? How did your entrepreneurial journey begin, and what sparked in you to be your own boss?
Well, like many of us, you get fired enough times, you understand that maybe the 9 to 5 corporate isn't for you, from various places, high and low and lower than low. But what I knew that I always wanted to be a boss. You know, the scriptures say, write the vision down and make it plain. And I still have like books when I was 11 that I wrote, you know, notebooks, and I was writing what has come after, you know, 20 plus years has come, and it's really here. I said I wanted a full service firm, and I wanted to be able to do these specific things. And even being in sports this year, the laws changed with the NIL, name, image, and likeness, for those don't know. So I went and grabbed a sports agent license as well, because what we're doing with our clients already and negotiating contracts, I said we could do it with these college athletes so they don't get ripped off when, you know, these video games keep coming around and saying, now we'll make video games again and just sign your rights away. I said, you guys, you see one deal, we see 100, you know, so that is, I just always wanted to do this. And while trying to follow that path and do what our mothers, our fathers, aunts, uncles said to do, it just didn't work for me. You know, I went to school, got the master's, Grambling, Harvard of the South. You know, the best thing out of Grambling, found my wife there, and was able to, you know, keep her. So and that was like the best thing. So when you said, hey, mama will be home, I'm thinking, yeah, man, mama will be home in a second. Y'all don't, you know, burn nothing. But I just wanted to do this, man. And I just, you know, I was willing to go broke to do it.
That's what's up, man. And I definitely want to circle back to that sports agent thing and everything that's going on with the college players and all of that. I would like you to dig a little deeper into that. But you said you was 11 when you wrote this down. You said you wanted to have your own firm. You wrote that when you were 11?
Yeah, about 11. I still have a book, my first book that I wrote. I've never published this one though. It's called Poverty Poetry. And I was showing my kids, trying to show them like I was really cold with this. You know, my wordplay, this is the Bay. I can really do this all day. And they're like, Daddy, poetry is old. And that cover looks even older. And I said, you guys don't get it, but we'll publish this. And maybe y'all will publish it. I'm just dropping seeds. They're 11 and 8 right now. So I just got to drop the seeds. They'll grow.
Dope. And so what kind of upbringing did you have? What were your parents like? Did you have both parents in the house? And what kind of values did they instill in you to be, you know, on it so young like that?
Yeah, I had two parents in the house, and I was, you know, raised by what we would call a step parent. And people, you know, it really didn't matter because a man was in the house who really showed me what a man was supposed to do and taking care of, you know, not just the bills, but even emotionally, even showing you men can cook too. And men are the best chefs. You know, I love when women cook, but men can really throw it down. But it was a step parent. And with that, it was a Mzungu. It was a white guy who looked like Chris Mullen in the Bay, step parent. So for me, I was Webster, but I wasn't adopted. You know, if you see my mother growing up, you know, she's transitioned, but I look just like her. And my biological, man, that's in a book in itself. I'm still, you know, working that out because, to be real with you, I just spoke with him like 3 or 4 days ago, and that story, I can't tell the whole thing because it's so deep. It's like, you know, I gotta weigh everything out and process it with my therapist, my wife first, because I'm like, whoa, it's like an extra chapter of the book you never thought was gonna be there. I thought I was kind of like an orphan after my mother passed. Not to put any disrespect on Step Pops because he's still here, but I just didn't have my lineage, and I'm like, man, am I not gonna live past 65? You know, and now I can see 120, like the Bible say, because my possible biological might be, if he is, you know, he's way past that 65, 70. So I'm kind of happy about that one.
So you were able to put some missing pieces together.
Thank God for Ancestry.com. You know,
Really?
Yeah. Okay. Real talk. But I came up, I'm from Oakland, Oconda, but because Step Pops, his whole family went to Stanford, right? My mother had a master's later in life. My grandmother had a degree, and she was traveling. I saw her on the camels coming up, going to Africa. So what we're doing is only an extension of those who really went to do it way, way before us. But my grandmother was an entrepreneur. we saw her as like she had her own daycare. It was nothing bootleg, but she had ice cream shops. I'm told she really did business, and she's still alive. So I say she still does business because she still has real estate. Yeah,
that's beautiful. So it's in your blood. You know?
In my blood. Oh man, well, I'm gonna tell you guys, because all prayers up, please. But we're on our way to Sierra Leone, because that Sierra Leone is definitely in the blood, and we want to be with the president and say thank you for the citizenship. But before I knew Sierra Leone, thanks to AfricanAncestry.com, shout out Gina Page. Before that, I knew Cameroon and Niger, but Cameroon and Nigeria were kept fighting, and my wife coincidentally is from Cameroon, so we have land and different investment we do in Cameroon and throughout Africa. Have some micro investments, just getting my feet wet, finding out how this works, because I'm also suing somebody in Kenya. Fifi's hair, you need to give me my money. In Mombasa, Fifi's hair in Mombasa. All you have to do is give me my money. The lawsuit will end.
Right. Just cut that check.
That's it, and it's a very small one.
Right.
Hey man, yeah. So I was going to get into that too. I see that you do a lot of international politicking and connecting with different influencers and business people from all throughout the diaspora as well. So, talk about that and the importance of being able to connect abroad, you know what I'm saying, as well as within the States.
Well, that I grew up with everybody from Mexicans took care of me to, of course, our own community. I went from Oakland to the suburbs. I can remember when hip hop wasn't cool. I can remember when having a part in your head, somebody touch you. Now we got to fight because you touching me. And I grew up even with Africans. And so eating the fufu, the ensima, all the good foods, the chebojin, from Senegal, Nangadefa, Fifarek, Senegal. I just grew up with everybody. So I always knew I wanted to travel. My mom put me on a plane with my pops, I step pops, white dude, his great aunt. But I was put on a plane like at 12 to just travel by myself. And by 14, 15, she allowed me to even travel with a girlfriend of mine who was from Spain and their family to New York. So it was a different upbringing, because while everybody else was in school, I could dip out to go to New York and be real cool. I thought I was Puff Daddy at one point, because I had a J-Lo, I wasn't even having sex, at that time. We were just, we're just doing kid stuff. But the stuff we tell our daughters.
Kid stuff.
Well, we were traveling together, but it was really just respectful. I didn't want to have any children before marriage. And so I was kind of like, it was always purse first. Too Short taught us right. Like, you got to do stuff in order. Like, we could even take game from the hustler. So it wasn't I'm trying to conquer and chew up women, because we weren't predators. That was the easiest thing to get if you wanted. Where I was from, everybody had game. So the international piece, I always knew I wanted to go to Africa. I had a free trip one time, or almost free, I should say, from my friend Lex. I passed it up at like 17, 18. And so when the next time I wanted to go somewhere, I just went. I didn't even think about it. And now I've been to, over 18 countries, various African countries, from Ethiopia to Kenya to Cameroon to, South Africa was my first one, just to get my feet wet. And I always feel just comfortable when I'm there. Whenever I leave really this country, the America, I really feel like you shed that, whatever it is, and you're not black. You're just an American at most, but really you're just a person.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, so I'm still trying to figure out where to go with you, because you got so much going on. So let's circle back to the sports agency thing. First of all, for the people that don't know, let us know about the new law that they got with the college athletes, and how does one even begin to start a sports agency? Because I think it's important, because I know there's going to be a lot of vultures going at our young athletes now because of these new laws, and they're able to, get paid for their name and likeness and all of this stuff. So you're going to have all these different agents and people from different communities that's going to want to take advantage of our young people. So how do we put ourselves in position where we could be the one to help guide them throughout their college athletic careers?
If we're sharp, when they change the laws and we know somebody who became a sports agent, even if, they've never done business before, our job is to let our kids know you can go to this person because I know someone who knows them, or I know them and they're good character. It was different for me because I was already, I'm already negotiating deals for influencers and for different people and businesses. So it was kind of like, it was a no-brainer. Here in Florida, it's easy. It's just you pay the money to the department, it's done. In California, you need like a bond, and it gets a little complicated in other states. But what we have to do is tell our kids, because they've been being vultures on us. Most of our people most of us are not represented in entertainment, period, by us. And then we try to make an excuse. I didn't know anybody. Then you didn't know enough people. And it was your job, extreme ownership again, to go find somebody who can be, vouched for, because my name is good in any hood. I've lived in over 6 states. I think maybe this is our 6th or 7th, but you can go to Springfield, Massachusetts, 413, ask about me. My name is good. From the Italians to the Irish to the Puerto Ricans to our own. I'm good. Go to Oakland. There's no smudge on my name as far as business. If I pop somebody in the eye and, in the 11th grade, they put their hands on me. But people will tell you, now he won't steal your money. And that's because who we started doing business with in entertainment. And they were the type of people you didn't want to take their money because you wanted your mother to go to church, with no issue in West Oakland. In West Oakland, anything could happen. So we never tested or played with anybody's money. If anything, I shot clients because they're like, why'd you send me that money? It's because they gave me a kickback, and I didn't get in this for a kickback. I got in this to do a deal for you. I charge a premium price. That's what I needed. I get my 15%. I'm good. This company can't buy me because I already know how that is. We want to be Al Heyman, not Don King.
How did you become an expert at your craft? How did you become an expert at what you do?
I'm always a student. I'm never an expert. I just done enough deals where, people say in tech, May, will you come over here and help us with this? Or we need to find out if we want to sell our company, they're offering us 1.2 million. And I say, that's not enough because they just offered your counterpart, 3. And you guys came up together. So I'll never be an expert. They might put that on a bio. And I thank them for writing those bios because I can't keep up because, again, I'm just doing the work.
Can I ask also, why are contracts so long? Like, can we, just get to the point? Like, why is it so long? I know it has to have some legal jargon in it, but why do they have to be 50 pages?
Well, I've taken the LSAT a couple times. I think I was accepted into one ABA school, but I did not pursue because things were going either too smooth or just running. I don't like the word BUSY because I know some real people who are, and they never even try to use it. But those contracts have to be what too long to read, or legalese is the legal term. And that's because lawyers are playing their own game of poetry in the courtroom. And so, it's poetry for real. It's Shakespeare to them. And it makes things interesting for those who don't know or aren't wise enough to go grab an attorney, because sometimes we win in a deal because I tell my attorney, I want this, too long to read. And I want them to really go through it, or I don't want them to go through it. And if they don't have an attorney, that's their fault. But we need to cover our behinds, because they could come back 30 years later, like a Bill Cosby case. And I'll be honest with you, I gotta, they say I might have a photographic memory, but I'm not trying to remember that. Let the lawyers do their job and go to the paperwork. So my contracts, I can do a handshake like a Hasidic Jew. I don't need a contract with you. when we're clients. We might have somebody write something down one time on a piece of paper just so we can legally promote them, talk about them, collect money on their behalf. And if they ever get caught up in something, I can say these were our duties. But after that, we don't have to do this every year because we're good at it.
Got it.
Oh, that was a good question too. That was a good question because I feel like the contracts, I think we said this on another show too. It's supposed to be a two-way street. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to protect me if I'm the, the artist, the entertainer, the athlete, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it's supposed to protect, the company that I'm doing business with. You know what I'm saying? So it's not supposed to be a one-way street where all of the benefits is going to the company and I'm just getting crumbs, if I'm able to recoup and, you know what I'm saying, all of that stuff. So I think that's just important. You know what I'm saying? Just knowing how to read, understanding how to vet a proper lawyer to go over those contracts and things like that. And also for us not to be in desperate positions where we just sign anything just to get out of the situation that we're in. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why we have to start young, teaching our children young about entrepreneurship and, how to diversify and create multiple streams of income so that they're not desperate when the time comes for them to make certain moves.
Real talk. Business. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, is there such thing as a 360 deal in sports as it is in the music industry?
The 360 deal, when they coined that in music, certain people, if you think about like Little Richard, when he said, I was getting half of a penny, right? They've been doing these deals. And really, that was Little Richard's fault for either not getting help and not finding help or just being so thirsty for the deal and the fame and the notoriety and them taking care of you like a poodle, right? So in sports, again, as a new agent, we are looking at the right clients because we don't have to have any sports clients. I've had a few people reach out to me begging me to represent them. I said I'd help them, but when you get in a deal with us, it's a real personal relationship. I become a family member and so do you. And we have to take care of you to make sure you do not retire broke. And we need you to listen. So yeah, you can get duped because what happens is what they do, and I have a couple of childhood friends who've gone to the league. As soon as in the NFL, they get you. They say you're going to be on this team. They bring you in the back room, and I call it the Men in Black thing, where they put the zzz, and they tell you everybody is about to, rip you off. Everybody is, going to have these business deals and whatnot. And once they get you your agent or your manager, and I say they get you because they want you to be around certain people. There's professional groupies, not to say any names right now, but they've written books on all the people that they've been around. These women have psych degrees. And now in the time that we're living in, it might be these men too, and whatever else falls in between, they have psych degrees. They know how how vulnerable these athletes are, especially if you're not used to dealing with money, especially if you're coming from the hood where you didn't see too much good. And then if you didn't have no daddy around, some folks didn't have no mama, to even help them when they were drowning. It's like you can get somebody. Our athletes a lot of them are broken, and you can tell when they open their mouth, like they didn't have any good guidance. They didn't have any good game. That's and right. if you didn't have any good game around you, you're going to be walking the blade. You'll be walking the streets. You'll be panhandling, looking for crumbs while this thing called OnlyFans is out there. While this thing called YouTube is out there.
Creeping around.
There you go. But this whole thing is game, and that's why we diversify it and bring on all type of people on diversified game. Like you guys, you get a mix of people so people can learn from various people.
Absolutely. What is diversifiedgame.com? Let the audience know what that's all about.
So I have a podcast that I called, it's like Kellen Cash's work break conversations, when I just take a break and I got to vent, client stuff, just life. A couple years ago, I kept telling my team we need to have our conversations recorded, especially with clients. Tyson, he's like, you know what, Kellen, I'll put everything together because I know you're not going to make it look good if you do it. AL, you're gonna do your part, and we all came together just to, you know, do this show. And you know, things happen. All love to those brothers, because Tyson and I still, I mean, we talk like, you know, at least every week, if not every other day. But him and AL had some issues, and they really didn't see it going the way I wanted it to go. And they said, Kellen, this is your show. You do what you want to do. But we don't want to be on camera. We just want to do audio. And, you know, and I'm like, man, I'm too pretty not to just be on camera. You know, I'm just, you know, So diversified game. I have entrepreneurs come on now that I've taken the reign and got my own team to do what I can't do, like editing. And, you know, I'm not the best editor at all, but I bring people who have won and they're entrepreneurs. And whether they're a 13-year-old millionaire like Christian the Truth Jones, or if they are like Ari, who wrote, I just forgot his book, but he teaches at MIT, and he's the one who's worked at Facebook. He's worked at, you know, the MySpaces and the different tech places. But if I'm gonna mention his book later on, because there's a few books in my lexicon that I have to like have. You know, and I'll mention his book. But if people scroll down in diversified game, I tell people you can't be broke, because I'm talking to people who most people, you're not going to talk to them. You're not even going to know that they exist, you know, at all, you know. And when I say Ari, actually, there's two of them, but one is, you know, he is a big real estate guy out there in Texas. And the other one is the tech guy I'm thinking about. But, you know, it's just game to really do it our way. We can talk how we want to talk. You can say what you want to say.
Dope. Love it. Go ahead.
I was going to say, what is one thing you wish you would have known before starting your business or about your business?
I probably, you know, scriptures say if you know too much, you know, you can really turn into like a fool, and it can drive you crazy. And I'm paraphrasing. I don't want to know too much. Like I tell God, give me just as much as I can handle, because I'm from where I saw everybody trying to beat the game, and it was in my blood. And I saw my uncles, you know, 12, I'm 12, 13. I saw somebody who really had the game, house, legal, had the hustle, had the business, and his best friend killed him, you know, at the Tyson Holyfield fight, you know. And so I don't want to know too much, because I just want to know enough, because I might not be able to handle it. I might try to do too much, like many of our people have. I've had to, you know, I've been spanked on the wrist. I've been warned. And when you're trying to beat this game, it's not, you don't have to do all that. Play the game hard. Play it straight up as much as you can, but you don't have to steal, cheat, or say, you know, even with these alternative coins, I remember when they used to call us criminals with this. You know, oh, you're a criminal. You got some coins that and so I don't talk about those things, but I let other guests come on who write books about it, and they'll tell everybody, hey, I got 200 million on my Nano X. And I think, wow, thanks for telling. But now the government is looking at you, and my company, my clique, my guys, we built the new Black Panther website when they first came out. You know, me and Rich been rocking for decades, and he put all that stuff together. And I'm the ones telling Grambling, hey, we're going to have the leader of the new Black Panther party. Who's going to interview him? I'm the editor of the one of the sections of the newspaper. So I don't want to do it. I want to delegate that to give someone else a chance. I interview celebrities all day. So I say all that to say, you know, for diversified game and for what I want to know, I don't want to know too much, because I read a book a week. Miles Monroe showed us that. Read a book a week. It'll change your life. You can't be stupid. I don't care who you are. I found out 2 years ago I'm dyslexic. You know, people laugh. They say, how you finish your master's program? You dyslexic. Get out of here. But think if I would have got the help, and I'll be honest, my mama wasn't letting nobody test me, because she wasn't going to let me ride that short bus with all those, you know, Mzungus and Asian folks. She wasn't going to do it. But I had to find ways to learn Shakespeare. And for those who are struggling with that, that's the stuff I want to say. I had to go in the boombox. I don't know. You guys might remember this, but I'm from that era where you could push play and record,
pause.
talk into it,
Yeah.
and that was your mic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just took
Yeah.
me back. You just took me way back.
So I would do that.
We used to call it pause tapes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would do that. And I would talk what in the Shakespeare page by page. So then during lunchtime, before we had to go see coach at the football practice, I'm listening to my own voice I put the beat over it because I had the other thing over here. I had my own mixtape. So when I would go to New York and I would see Clue getting his tapes and I'd come back to Cali, I had music 2 years in advance. The DJs love me, the clubs love me. And you say, wait, he was a teenager. Yeah, man. We were off the porch early. And we were, doing what we're doing now because I knew what I wanted to do.
Right.
So it ties into what I want to ask too, because we're talking about books. You're saying, the Miles Monroe Gem, a book a week. You went to school, Grambling. It seems like you still got a relationship with them too, yeah?
Oh man, Grambling, Gram fam. That's what we call it. That's the hashtag, always.
Okay.
Always,
And then traveling. So all of these things are, different forms of education. Which form would you say works best for you? Is it the hands-on experience of just starting something and learning on the way? Is it, the book information, school? Which one what works best for you?
I'll break it down to you like this in a story. My kids, again, 11 and 8. Daddy, don't ask daddy for no homework because I did enough to get by and they passed me by. My kids homeschool and they have their own teacher. Shout out to Professor Gabriel. Anybody who want to get in on this, we can help you find a teacher. But they do a virtual school with a man who's a real professor in Cameroon. And we are blessed to have them. And they go every morning at 7. They're up. They're doing their work. They take turns, on their different computers. And like we're, God willing, leaving tomorrow, they'll take their computers with you and they'll be doing school. Because to me, school, a lot of it is a waste of time. In the traditional public school, I learned so much more traveling. And they learn so much more. They've been to over, 6-7 countries. But when they tell people, oh, yeah, I was in Iceland, I was in Malta, right? And we do it on a budget. So you don't have to have a ton of money to do these things. But that travel is where you really learn. And that's why people like Sammy Davis Jr. and others, could do what they did because they traveled. They might not have been able to read that well. But, Mayweather, they say he can't read, but he's on his plane chilling, doing what he needs to do. And, I think he's living an okay life.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So you did mention, the reading the book a day. So what have you read or listened to recently that has inspired you?
Wow, so much has inspired me. I would tell everybody, first, no matter what you think, check out the full scriptures. I'm talking about from the Ethiopia, scriptures, not the 66 books, but check that out because that book, yeah, that's what they like to call it. But then they like to throw in, these are lost books, but ain't nothing lost about them. And you can go ask everybody in Ethiopia. And, one of my favorite pastors, Pastor Geno Jennings, even though he wouldn't like my love locks in my hair, those books, I haven't seen a contradiction, and I have the full scriptures. So I've read so much, but the books that I would tell people if they're looking for a good book, The 4-Hour Work Week is a great book. The Extreme Ownership is a great book. Depending on, if you want to be a consultant, you got to read Alan Weiss. He's written over, I think, 60 books. More than anybody in consulting, especially if you let Alan tell it. He's been a guest on our show and, giving us some good feedback and compliments. But I actually post my books on social media. So if anybody wants like the complete list, when I finish a book, I'll say, hey, this was a solid read or this is a must read because we're not reading. And if you have to go to school to learn to like read a book, man, that's an expensive way to read a book. You know, you could read a book and be the smartest person I know doesn't have a degree, and he doesn't even have a home, but he reads and he reads some more. So, you know, anything by Damon John I like as well, just to throw out some, you know, some names people will know. But okay, The Hype Machine. Y'all read The Hype Machine. That's a great book if you're on this social media and you want to understand it at a high level. The Hype Machine. And the last other books that I read both of Jason Wilson's books, out of Detroit. That brother, you guys, if you're a man or you're raising a man, you need to read that book, as well as The Boy Crisis. If you're raising a man or you're around men, The Boy Crisis is a great book. It's a must read. And for fun, I think the most fun book I read recently was Jennifer Lewis's book and then Bill Duke's book. And they just laced me with so much game. Like Jennifer Lewis and I will have a problem if we ever meet. And so I hope if we ever meet, my whole family is there so we don't have a problem, because we're going to cut up in a major way.
Yeah, Jennifer Lewis, but she gets turned up with it. I like her spirit. I love her energy.
Yes.
Man, you threw a lot out there. What I wanted to ask you about, the social media piece. So you kind of help people grow whatever they got going on with social media, correct?
Yeah, you're talking about over a decade ago, when we were doing social media for people, it was like we were the first that they knew. And when we started even doing online radio, like, we're doing now with Anchor or Spotify or Amazon Podcast, Kenny Lloyd, shout out to Pops. That's what we called him. Pegasus out of Ruston. He's transitioned, but he showed me and was a mentor and said, let me show you how to turn your computers into a server. And if you can't afford a T1 line, let me show you how to, do this. And with that, our only competition when we were doing online radio, a thing called Too Hot Radio, Too Hot Music, and Too Hot TV. We were the only ones there. Our only competition was Live 365 and Yahoo Music. Nobody else was doing online radio the way we were doing it. And then you had the Mark Cubans came in at a major level, what he did, and even World Radio and Sirius. And I'm a stockholder and all of that because I saw it and I believed in it. And I've never been disappointed in those investments. But I was hungry to do this and I didn't want to ask permission. At Grambling, can I call somebody out real quick? We have the same lady who was doing radio and I was there. The same lady who was, I think, when my uncle, who's like 7 years older than me, he was there. And she's still there now telling people how to do radio. She needs to retire. That's old game. You don't know this internet, and you're still trying to have us fit in where we have to sound like, no disrespect, Tom Joyner. Great legend in what he did, but it's a new day. And more people want to sound like Charlemagne. They want to sound like EYL, David Never Sleeps, Sincere Love to God, and the cast, and the Nisi girl. So it's a new way. It's a new band. So retire and let us get our feet wet a little more and get that retirement check and or get ready for the retirement check. So, Grambling, change her up. Also get rid of Dr. Lolly. Love her. She gave me some real good game, but there's new professors. And Dr. Edu, you need to retire too.
My man is going in. You gotta go remix the whole school. Throw the whole school away.
No. Grambling.
Somebody had to say it.
Yeah, somebody had to say it. And guess what? My Irish twin was born on June the 14th, just like me. Trump. He's just 15 minutes down the road. So I got nothing to lose. They're not offering me. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm a Gemini too. I'm a Gemini. June 8th. Hey.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the computer had to go hyphy, had to go dumb with I feel it, you know.
Right,
Sideshow.
right.
Yeah.
Hey, but so being from the Bay, also, you know, all of those tech companies and stuff out there, did that give you kind of a kind of an edge when it came to investing? I know you said you was a shareholder early in some of those companies. Did that give you kind of an edge just being based out of the Bay?
What gave me an edge, God really blessed me. And you know what we think is, like, you always hear it preach, what you think, you know, you don't know your biological until you're 40 years old and had your first, you know, prostate exam, right? By that pretty doctor with the small fingers. I give it up. Yeah. So what he did was, my pops, who raised me, was an engineer at PG&E. And so he had computers, and he bring the computer in, and he really put me on game and said, this is the future. This is the now. And so I had access to a computer. And with the access to a computer, then you got to remember, I'm the only one sometimes in a classroom. So I got Asians, I got white folks. You know, when I went to school in Oakland, I had to fight. So I had to get pulled out of there. I get to these schools, I got to fight, right? Still, but I got to fight with my mind even more. And then when I'm on the computer and I'm really trying to break the game, because I'm reading, you know, Fillmore Slim on them. I'm reading Iceberg Slim. I'm reading Donald Goins. And I'm like, hold on, but I'm going to throw this game in with what they forced me to read at school and what my mother makes me read, like Malcolm X, because she saw the police shooting at the Black Panthers, you know, at one of their offices. Because Oakland, you know, they all from Arkansas, but they all came from Oakland. So I don't know if it gave me a heads up, but that man in my life putting that computer and bringing it and letting me get, you know, using those 1,000-hour CDs and putting it in there and getting busy. Y'all don't know nothing about that, y'all youngsters listening. We had to be on the CDs with the dial-up.
Yeah, I was late on the computer, so I don't even know about that.
Yes.
Coming from Arkansas to the Bay Area. So my family actually also came from Texarkana, Texas / Arkansas, because you know it's just a line in between. And the first place that my mother moved when she came from the South was Oakland. My mother was raised in Oakland, before she came to Los Angeles.
Yeah, we might be.
We might be related.
No, my grandmother said before we went down south, hey, get their history, because your grandfather populated from here, from Arkansas, all the way to California on that journey. So we really may be. And then Pops, biological Pops, really put in some work too. So you never know.
Right, never know.
Yeah, exactly. Man. Mall of Africa. What is the Mall of Africa? What is that about?
I kept telling influencers, you know, that I either have a working relationship or have some type of relationship. I kept telling folks, and I'm going to say the names. I said, hey, Phil, from the African diaspora, hey, why don't you, you know, put this out there? Kellen, what you talking about? I haven't been to Africa yet. Just put it out there. I tell Dynast Amir, search for Uru. Hey, Dynast, nobody goes to Africa more than you. Hey, can you put this information out there? Kellen, it's great information. I'm working on something. I might get to it. I had to do it myself, because I was, you know, even African Tigress, and I was, you know, trying to get everyone else to put out this information. So I really just one day purged some information and put it up there. I told one of my team members, just throw this here. Don't worry what it looks like. Let's capture the emails and let's give some free game, because these .Africa domains, when I put that up there, less than 30,000 people had those domains. GoDaddy told me that personally. So I started buying those domains, like Byron Allen started buying them. And I mentioned him because when I got to meet the man, he said, you and I got a lot in common. Thank you for the compliment, you know. And he sparked something, and it was a relationship builder. You know, we're not best friends. Haven't got him on the shows I want to get him on yet, but he bought domains back when, you know, people were like, what are these CDs? Or like you said, Sincere, nah, that's not my time. just getting in early. So a domain, you might cash out. I treat it like a contingency plan, but I have, Adidas.Africa. I'm ready for you when you want to come buy your domain from me, and all type of other domains that I just sit on. So Mall of Africa is a way for, if you want to learn how to invest in Africa, we vetted a couple of people. Go check it out. If you want to learn, can you get citizenship or residency in a country? We laid something out. My Jamaican team member helped put that beautifully, because my dyslexic, maybe ADHD self that was never diagnosed fully, wasn't going to put all that so pretty, And so it's just, if you want to invest in Africa, because everyone's talking Africa, but it's cool. Go visit for the first time. If you fall in love with it, cool. When you go back, put something down and invest. Don't just be a tourist, because if you're just a tourist, you ain't doing really nothing. Go invest and see how you can make more than 32% on your money, like some of us do, and learn how, you got to pay your taxes legally. But I just want everyone to have the game, and everybody can afford, or they will not spend that one-on-one time. And I try to make my time one-on-one for an hour as affordable for a 14-year-old or a 44-year-old. But y'all know our people sometimes, oh, how much? It don't matter how much the price is. And so yeah, it's just game. That's all I'm doing. Sharing game on Mall of Africa.Africa or mall4africa.africa. I have both domains.
Okay, I want to hear some more about that too, because you said something interesting, you know what I'm saying, about not just going out there as a tourist and, trying to get something established. And I do think that it's important for us to have some type of international trade going on, you know what I'm saying, especially if we're trying to do business, you know what I'm saying? As we know, they have so many ceilings that we have to go through over here, but there's not a lot of clarity for us from what I've been able to see, you know what I'm saying? Even with the right to abode thing that they got going on in Ghana, we see that there's a lot of red tape that goes on with that. And it's really kind of like a tourist thing that they got going on over there. Like, how easy is it to get citizenship in some of these places? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us really don't know.
It's all about who you know. I don't want to say citizenship is easy anywhere, but those who know Africa know you can buy anything. If you have money, you need about $2,000 a month to be what I would consider very well taken care of, where you're going to have the house helps and the home and all that. Ghana, yeah, they marketed it as one thing, but if you look at the less than 200 people who've actually gotten it, and there's over 5,000 of us from America over there, it's a little more than here's the paperwork. So you need to know somebody, and you need to know when they're doing this. And there's some people online who, they do a good job of that, especially for Ghana, but they can also tap in to a consultant like myself. And I have something on my Instagram, Kellen Cash, y'all. And thank you for having the scroll. I really appreciate that. See, again, those are little details. They beyond me. I'm just going to tell y'all. But it's not as easy. But Sierra Leone, and now I'm going to I sound like a total patriot. I sound like, I'm biased, but Sierra Leone has the most just cut and dry program. You go through AfricanAncestry.com. If you get it on your mom or dad's side, any Sierra Leone, you then go file your paperwork. And if you guys say, but it costs too much with the tour companies, I have a tour company that can hook you up, and it won't cost you, the $4,000 or $5,000, $6,000 that some of the American companies cost you. I throw it out there because, again, I can say that I'm not trying to take away from anyone's business, but I also want somebody who might be making $40,000 a year have their 2-3 kids to say, I can't go. I don't have that money to pay these Americans. I got the Sierra Leone companies that are going to not even take your money until your paperwork is approved. Hello, that's good game. That's worth the watch right there for y'all out there. Tip the host and the hostess, because that game in itself, wait, you mean I can go for how much? I'm not going to tell you a price because it depends on what you want to do out there. So you really need to have a session so I can go through the ins and outs, the outs and ins.
Yeah, because I seen something similar I think in the Congo it was. They have like something going on with AfricanAncestry.com, where you go through AfricanAncestry.com, and if you could trace any part of your lineage to the Congo area, then there's a pathway for you. You know what I'm saying? As far as getting that dual citizenship or whatever it is. So yeah, that's something I need to definitely look more into and learn more about, because from what I've been able to see, it's a lot of hoops. It's a lot of hoops that you got to go through.
Yeah, with Sierra Leone, it's not. It's AfricanAncestry.com, which may expand to other places, but right now, they got the lock on that. And then it's finding your tour agent and getting your background check from the FBI in the state. Don't worry if you have something, on there. You're not the only one, but it's, what it is. And then processing it. Honestly, I'll be straight up. If you were touching kids out there or beating up women, I kind of want you to stay right here in America, right? They got a place for you. But if you have, you might have, whatever the other stuff, and don't worry about that. Just fill out the paperwork, because they understand. The president over there studied over here, and he understands America. And I don't know the man. I've had the ambassador of Sierra Leone on my show as of recent, but I again know a little bit about West Africa. So I'm gonna be eating my fufu and jollof rice, and I'm chilling. I'm home.
All right, everybody, man. Just a reminder: make sure y'all all hit the like button. Share this out on your social media platforms, and double check to make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. For those of you that don't know, we are chopping it up with our brother Kellen Coleman. You can follow him at Kellen Cash on IG. Anywhere else you like people to follow you at, brother?
Oh, anybody on LinkedIn, if you have something that you want to talk about, business related, so we can always keep those, those business people. And, wherever they find me, I'm really on every social media platform, but sometimes I got to change my name to Rafael De La Ghetto, and just be incognito. So and I'm gonna give Fresh Prince there. He coined that. If y'all watch Fresh Prince, my kids got to watch all the '90s stuff. I might be stuck in the '90s, but wherever I'm at, IG is a great one, because I don't want to give all these social media platforms all my eyeballs. So I actually don't necessarily run my social 24/7. I have a team that helps me. And then I get to see the important stuff when they say, hey, there's a message here, how you want to respond. And I can look and say, oh, okay, cool. Oh, Sincere hit me. Oh, sure. Yeah, we'll do that. No problem. And be personable. Because I always want to be personable. I'm not a guru of anything. I'm just like a real nerd and really pugnacious, really nosy guy.
I would like you to, if you could, and this is going to be a little bit of a challenge for you because you got a lot going on, simplify what it is that you do. Like, you know what I'm saying? If somebody wanted to connect with you, what exactly, because you got a lot going on over there, brother. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of pots on the stove at the same time. Can you simplify it in any way?
I solve problems.
Fixer. I saw that as one of the I think I wrote that in the bio, as a matter of fact. Fixer. And I thought when I saw that kind of reminded me of like a Olivia Pope type situation. So I'm like, okay, does he kind of help people get their image back together when they go through some type of scandal or something?
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, all that comes with it, but those are things you really can't talk about if you ever want a new client. Chatty patties don't get rehired.
Right.
Yeah, so I always like movies like Pulp Fiction, where the wolf popped in, and again, we were kids when it popped. The wolf, hey, it's 30 minutes away. He was there in 15. I love fixing problems, and whether it's politicians or influencers or whoever, let's just fix the problem. Because if you think about it, even in relationships, not to go high value man on us, because we got somebody in 2 hours that's gonna be talking about that on this YouTube. And we love him too. But when you are in a relationship, for those people who, love relationships, and I love them, you really don't have to do the arguing that you do if, as let's say, the captain of the ship for the men, you know that woman's going to start tripping every 3 to 6 months and say something, but you see that wave coming. It's how you ride that wave. So really, when you are arguing with her, you're arguing with yourself of, why didn't I say something else or do something different? Because was I trying to be right, or was I trying to have my family, have my children see a loving family and how that is supposed to be? Or was I trying to school her because I had something in me where I felt like I needed to get my Ken Ivy on? You know, I needed to go Bishop Don Magic Wand on him. I say Ken Ivy, that was my first real client, and a lot of people, you Google Ken Ivy, you guys figure out what I'm talking about, because some folks are stuck in the mustard trying to catch up. But you don't have to argue with your woman. And, as a man, what you have to do is have an understanding on, oh man, she's going to be a little emotional right there. And it's not because she's about to start any cycle, because she might have just got off of it. But that's just how women are, right? And we have our own issues that we do. We just don't see it till it's too late. And like, dang, I hope nobody saw me do that. Man, boom.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's always after the fact where you be like, you know what, I should have said, or maybe I shouldn't have said. You know what I mean? It's always after the fact when you replaying everything in your head, where you realize, maybe I ain't handled that the right way.
Yeah.
You know
we gotta the boy crisis. Well, boom. You put the boy crisis book with both of Jason Wilson's The Battle Cry and Cry Like a Man. Things start exploding. Like, and I do therapy every week with my Black therapist. And so I let, somebody know all the craziness, because it's kind of accountability when you want to go purge one time and you say, but that's the old way of doing stuff. And what does that get you? Because it might get you a lot of money, but now you got to worry about, do I got to go to the clinic? Or, oh, do they got me on camera now doing that? Oh, am I about to go to jail, prison? So why not just play the game as straight as you can? I do believe sometimes you have to color outside the lines, especially if you're dealing with corporate or politics. I get it. But, that's what we have the lawyers for, to say what's legal and what's not.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Question: do you also refer, say, clients to attorneys, or would that be a conflict of interest, or how does all of that work with what you do?
I refer all the time, not just to attorneys, but even other consultants. I have someone who is a former Olympian, and she was like, hey, I need someone. And I just don't think right now it's the right fit, because I need you to think like I think and do like I do. And pump your brakes, because I don't do fame. I do strategy and systems. That's what the people who I know who make, $20 million a year, systems is everything. And a lot of us don't sit down with that. So there's no conflict of interest, because I don't know everything. And I did not go do that JD program, even though I've read a lot of the books. I don't have those credentials on me. So I'll give you so much, and then I'll tell you, go get an expert, go get a CPA. You like the way I handle my money and what I do and how I flip it. Well, let me tell you, my CPA used to work with Paul Allen, right? Shout out to Brock, ictaxadvisors.com. If they take you, they won't shake you, and you'll be legal. And that's the whole thing of having a team of people that keep you legal, because there's things I've done in the past where I'm like, wait, what you mean, the government and government contracting? Wait, they changed their rules? We can't do that anymore? Okay, send it back. Let's reel it back. And I'm talking about even giving gifts. We can't send a case of wine anymore? Okay, bring it back. But there was a way that I was taught in government contracting in Springfield. Miss Aisha, I thank her for giving me the game. I know she's transitioned, God bless her, but she showed me how government contract is it's the government's way of twisting. And I've seen PTAC advisors show me $40,000 contracts companies have gotten to create a Twitter. But here's the plot twist: they could not make one tweet. They would have been out of compliance. So they got $40,000 to do what you and I have done on all these social media platforms, to create a platform, but they can't tweet. And then coincidentally, the RFP is over. The request for proposal is over. And no, don't worry about it. We'll get you on the next one, because they got money to burn. And guess who's they're burning? Yours and ours.
Man. So yeah, man. A lot of game, man. A lot of game. You spitting some fire rapidly on the show tonight. We definitely appreciate you being here with us, brother. I always like to ask our guests, if you had the microphone and you could just speak to the whole world, our people especially, you know what I'm saying, and just give them a brief message, what would you say? And I'm gonna spotlight you real quick so you could drop that game on them.
Show more grace, show more love. That's what we need. That's what it's about. When you get mad at even your children, you're probably getting mad at yourself for not supervising them at that time that they did that thing. And so again, that extreme ownership, if we take out the woulda, coulda, shoulda, and the buts and say, but I can do it, and I am smart enough, and nothing is special about anybody else more than me, because you were created in God's image. So don't think that anybody got the heads up. I don't care how many children you have or how many you don't, can't keep a relationship or no, just work on everything. There's some great books out there that say get better every day by 1% and keep God first. And that's no lie. None of us are perfect. None of us are saints. If something comes up from behind me right now, you're not gonna see probably the saint come out of me, but we're gonna be tussling. But just show more grace. I'd love to show more grace, but if you come out at this time of the night and you coming out of the pool, you might be the Loch Ness monster or the Swamp Thing. I gotta put you back where you came from.
Sounds the sound issue. There you go. Where he go? I don't know. Can you still hear us?
Oh yeah, I still
Okay.
hear you.
Okay, good. I thought you couldn't hear me. Sorry. So if you were in our shoes, meaning myself and sincere love of God, what questions would you ask yourself that we did not tonight?
Wow, you guys asked some good questions, and I know that I can bounce off from one wall to another.
It's a Gemini in you.
Yeah, but I think you guys did a great job. And if I could just give some game for you and everybody who does a show, there's Muck Rack, there's Meltwater, there's Cision. We got to get in on these publicist mailing lists, because my show, like yours, it has a purpose. I don't want to necessarily entertain people. I want to educate people. They call it edutainment. Eric Robinson actually he went to Grambling too. He coined that for his Groove Line magazine. He was a mentor of mine, just like Ron Hood out of Pittsburgh, California, and I appreciate and love them both. But we got to get connected on these journalist mailing lists, and this stuff is free. You got to help a reporter out, put your show out there. You do a couple for a publicist, they start sending you multimillionaires, and it's the reason why I interview at least a millionaire a week. I don't mean to do that. I do not mean to do that. But what happens is you just start getting in these circles, and then people start calling you, say, hey, you sound like you got some money. Are you a qualified investor? You answer, the way you need to answer, and then you might be part of a VC fund, a very small member, and you're seeing what flying cars are about to do. And then you read books like, I'm going to elaborate. If you say, on more on the books, The Future is Faster Than You Think by medical doctor Peter Diamandis. It's a great book written by, somebody who only went to med school. Sorry, I thought something hit me on my head. Only went to med school because culturally his dad said that's what we do. So he went to Harvard Medical School, and he has over 20 businesses. And I tried to go to his conference prior to COVID, and it was I tried to go to the conference, and they said, oh, but you got to pay that $15,000. I said, dang it, my conference bill, for the year is like 10. I got to get some more money. Just for conferences, to pay the admission fee. So, that's the stuff that I'm looking at going to. If you're a filmmaker out there, you need to be at the natpe.org. That's where I met Byron Allen. So if it's a question you haven't asked me, people will say, what do you think did give you that leg up? Going to conferences, reading a book a week. Yeah, networking. Even when you didn't think you didn't want to. I'm a socialite. I like to go out there and I did it even with kids. My wife was in the hospital working in medical school. I had one kid here on the arm. For those you have kids, you got to hold this up. I got the other one. I'm holding her hand and I'm telling them sit down during these conferences. Sit down while I got a radio show in a real radio station in Lubbock, Texas. When it's like you got to make no excuse. That baby is gonna cry. That's what babies do. I'm gonna be on a plane with both of them because we got places and people to see. So the conferences, you gotta go to them. If you don't have the money, parking lot pimp them. NATPE at the Fontainebleau in Miami. You can just hang out at the bar and meet all the buyers. Because I want people to I used to get in trouble because I would bring the hood.
Not you.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in trouble, right? That I'm used to it. I bring the hood to the young professional adventures, and people are like, "Hold on, you got 10 people?" I said, "Nah, we got 10 more coming out." I got the whole 413, and folks can verify that stuff. That I'm going to always, wherever I go, try to tap into the streets,
right?
And unless our people don't want to talk to me, that's cool. Some people have said you sound like the feds. You know too many people. You know too much. Okay, I guess it's a gift.
But like you said, you can go to any city too, and you can go to any city or any state, and the same streets is gonna take care of you. They're gonna make sure you're good.
Hopefully, we hope. We saw what happened. Peace and blessings to Young Dolph. We saw what happened to Nipsey Hussle. I've had my own issues where I'm too close, and that's where you're supposed to bring other people up so they can handle that stuff for you. And when they come to your house, they got to go through the gates. They got to go see that gateman David who ain't gonna let you through because ain't nothing scaring him because he from Trinidad and he ain't worried about you. He got something for you if you try to come through here, but you're gonna have to protect yourself as a Black person, especially from the ops which don't look like you and the ops who look like you.
That's a fact.
Yeah,
you're getting it from all sides, unfortunately.
Yeah. So you got to be concealed carry. Your daughters especially got to know jiu-jitsu. Mine would do 2 days of jiu-jitsu, 2 days of swimming prior to this COVID mess. You got to get every girl needs to know how to lay on her back and have a grown man on top of her in between her legs and make him beg for mercy that he wish he never did that.
Period. Preparation. You wish you don't have to do it, but you prepared in the event you have to do it.
You got to, because I'm tired. I used to mentor, not just mentor, but take care of kids in the psych ward at the Sisters of Providence ART, acute residential treatment program in Holyoke. And I'm seeing the same problems I see when I was a kid and people telling me they were violated by that uncle, by that, whatever. And I'm like, these kids got to know how to really take somebody out because those games, ain't no playing house anymore. I see kids playing house. I'm tearing up that box, putting the foot out there. Ain't no mama and daddy. Y'all kids. Ain't no hide and go get it. Ain't nothing like that.
Wait a minute. Why are you always bringing up all the old states? You're taking me back. Ain't no hide and go get it. Ain't none of that.
None of it. Don't turn off the lights. You don't need
it, y'all.
Yeah, that computer.
Again.
That computer is
I get excited.
Right. It's all good. Ain't no KIS at night. That's a Nas song. You better turn that off. Ain't no, you can't play the music you want to hear with the headphones you got on all day in my house. I need to hear it. I want to bump it. Oh, hold on. What's that? Justin Bieber? He doing the floss? Hold on, let me show you the new one. What's that one where they? I forgot. I'm old, but just getting seasoned. So
that's right.
Yeah. So no, that's all this, I love this. And what you guys are doing, you know, these networks need to see what y'all are doing and how you're doing it, because that's how people want to see it and hear it as well. Because podcasting really pays more money in a lot of people's lives than you know, YouTubing. YouTube pays great money for some. I don't make my money from YouTube like that. You know, I represent people. I get that, charge a premium, but you know, podcasting, go ask Entrepreneur on Fire how much he makes, you know, per show. It's $3,500 unless he wants to be nice, you know, a show. And you say, ooh, that sounds like good money, unless that money will get you a coke habit. You'll be on fentanyl or whatever other the drugs are. I don't know. My only drug, you know, is I tell people I'm a reformed crack addict, and I don't mean that white stuff. You know, I was talking about hide and go get it for a reason. I'm talking about the original. You know, I women have never been my problem, and except that you want to try to collect them like cars or watches or whatnot. And I don't spend my money on any type of tricking at all. You know, we don't do that. You know, no Rolexes. We had them at 16. What is it? It's just a thing. So I got African wear. If I'm not wearing my own stuff or Grambling stuff, you know, the material things. I'm just venting right now, but I'm so tired of us looking rich on Instagram.
Right.
And then when we need to invest in our business, we don't even have $500 for marketing.
Right.
When we want to go, you know, when you're talking about traveling to Africa and, you know, Phil of the African diaspora, we're going in March to South Africa, luxury, just like we did in Kenya. Yeah, just like we did in Kenya. And, you know, everywhere we go, you know, it's luxury. Everything. So when we bring the audience, we want to bring luxury into that, because we want, oh, you never stayed at the Kopinski? Oh, yeah, we've been here before, man. Yeah. This is how you can live if you come to Africa and you think business. But anything that you do right now for that employer, if you're that good, I bet you they would hire you as an entrepreneur. It's you who hasn't been bold enough to set up a plan to make that happen and say, you know what, I'm tired of working for these people. I make these people $1 million a month selling pharmaceutical products. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. She hear who I'm talking to. She hear it. I make them $1 million a month. And you need to tell them, read the 4-hour work week if you don't want to hear it from me, and say, oh, yeah, I could do this. I could boss up and tell them, if you want me, you got to hire me and hire me on my terms. I work better on my terms. And that's just the facts. That's just the stats. You know, that's not just a rap, you know, and Kellen can't do that.
Wait, did he just hit some bars though? Did he just?
Yeah, a couple of bars. Couple of bars. You got to throw out a little hyphy beat in the background. A little hyphy beat in the back of that. You know what I'm saying? Bang, 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 bang. Nah, respect. Nah, that's some real shit though. You said a lot of real shit. Even when my service dropped out over here, I tapped in on my phone. He was dropping a lot of good game on there, man. I definitely appreciate that, man. Hopefully, you know, you guys that are watching and y'all that check this out on the replay, you know, make sure you're taking notes, man. Make sure you're writing down some of those book recommendations. You know what I'm saying? Even if you got to get the audio, you know what I'm saying? I know everybody don't got the same tolerance and appetite to sit down and turn the pages and all that. But even if you got to get the audio version to just soak up this game, man, because the knowledge is out there, the information is out there, and all of us have a gift. Like we always say on this show, all of us have a gift, something that we bring to the table that we do uniquely and we do it well, that we can absolutely monetize and make a living out of. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be a slave to whatever your situation is. You know what I'm saying?
Got to tap into it. Sometimes we just need to hear voices like Colleen's, and you know, so that it can bring something out of us, right? And we just got to learn how to tap into those talents, into those gifts, and share them. You know, and like you said, make it a business.
For sure.
And get you a good spouse. You know, men, get you a good woman. Get your mind right. I know you're tired of going to the clinic at night or in the morning. You know,
not the clinic.
Yeah.
Let's go down to the clinic.
I'm out the game. I don't know where
the clinic.
Yeah, you know, get your mind right. Get you a good woman, because you see, people, Bezos, even he got out of one situation and jumped right into another, because you really need a woman with you. And if you got a good one and she's been with you, stay down with her, crown her, don't frown her,
Another
don't.
bar.
Yeah, just keep stay, because if you're not loyal to the soil, then I'm gonna know you could just leave us at any time. We're
Right.
doing business. We could, once you hear 1 million, you start acting funny. And I don't
Right.
want clients like that, because $1 million in business isn't a lot of money,
No,
And
not after expenses, paying overhead and taxes. It's not.
Employees, yeah,
It's not.
yeah.
So,
Man, yeah. Go
go ahead.
ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
I was
Final
going to say
questions.
that. No, well, I have my final question, but also I wanted to just say, everybody, please please share this broadcast tonight. He's been dropping a lot of bars, a lot of fire, a lot of information, a lot of great information. Thank you everyone for tapping in with us. And anyone have any questions in the chat for our guest tonight that you want to ask, that we can, that he can elaborate on for you guys? Let us know.
I know yours. I know what
Yeah,
you're finna ask.
yeah.
I'm ready for it.
You like it? It's nothing crazy. It's nothing
Okay.
crazy. No, I was just, my question I always like to ask every guest, if you look at any of our shows, what does freedom mean to you?
Freedom, I think Bishop Don Magic Juan said it best. You can open and close doors at any time that you want. That's what I love about my business. I don't know anything about this PCR test. God willing, we've done enough with our negative test that we got back, where Delta is going to let us on the line. If not, we're going to let them shine and let everybody know how complicated it is to go to Africa, right?
Yeah, let us know.
Because Delta Air France isn't, as clear of what they want. But freedom is that I can go and I don't have to say, hey, boss, you mind if I go to the bathroom? Hey, boss, you mind if I take a 3-week vacation and I might want to extend it because my wife works from home too, and does what she does in the medical field. But, I'm going to brag on her, negotiated 34 weeks off. Hello. So she
Yeah.
works 17 weeks out of the year so she can really have no fear and do what she wants to do. Like, that's freedom, that I can pack up my kids' computers and we can go. My dream is to be in the Prevost van and let's just go somewhere, y'all. Put the car underneath. Yeah, I want the top line where you can put the little Corvette underneath the big RV and come on, y'all, let's go. Oh, we're going to put a boat there, or we're going to catch the boat when we go to where we're going. Okay, either way, let's go. That's
Right.
freedom. And
That's
you
freedom.
don't have to brag and boast about what you have, because you could do it off a little bit of money. You could do it off, less than 200,000. If you're not buying Lexus, if you're not buying Prada, if you're not buying, Rolex and every other thing, if you know what an index fund is, and invest in, yourself and your future, for if God forbid there's a day you have to sit and you can't do too much. My
Right.
retirement plan, when I get that old, is I'm gonna fly drones. So at least I know my thumbs work. I'm just gonna fly drones just so I'm doing something, surveying land or whatnot. Like, that's how far my wife and we think.
Right.
In our stuff. And I met her at 18 at Grambling, and I told her what it was. She's gonna have to, bear with me with I'm gonna have some slip ups. I'm a man. And she a personality and said, man, I'm gonna love you throughout those, because I know what we building. This is a business. Folks who you think you looking for love, I'm looking for business.
Family is business.
Yep.
Yeah.
Teamwork
Church is
makes the
business.
dream work too.
Yeah. I told her Nexus and Sprint are merging when Nexus and Sprint merged. So I this is what we're doing. And let's gobble up everybody else. And again, my shortcomings are what they are, but them. I don't mean to be like this. Work and love me through them. And I'm gonna make you these promises of what's never gonna happen, because I can tell you it's never gonna happen. In my heart of hearts, because what I'm standing on. So that that's what I tell what freedom is to me, and that's what we're striving and working for every day. Because it's not like you get it and you can't lose it. I still keep a CDL license, you know. I have 2 security license, and I'm waiting to be in Florida for 2 years to go get like a company security license. I'm not opposed to working hard. Did the oil field with a master's degree, did a McDonald's for a couple days till I burnt this finger right here on them eggs, working at 5 in the morning, and I needed to work for some school stuff and some verification. And my guy, Eric Robinson, again, hooked me up and said, hey man, we'll let you do this, but it's like, you're not too good for anything, no matter what level you're at. And I listen to people like Jamie Foxx, who just put a new book out, and I haven't even started it, but he talks about how he always has something broken in the house, just to remind you of what life was and what it could be.
Too. Yeah.
Real game.
No doubt.
Humble thyself, because pride comes before the fall.
Yep.
No doubt, man. So yeah, man, family, man, we appreciate everybody joining us tonight again. Make sure y'all share this out on your social media platforms. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can be reminded when we go live with new content. Also, if you're watching this on the replay, give us your feedback in the comment section as well. Make sure you all are following our brother on Instagram at Kellen Cash. You see it scrolling across the bottom of the screen right there. You can check me out on all social media platforms. I'm at Sincere Love to God. And my Cali Country co-host is at Nicety Girl with the number 1 on the end on Instagram and without the 1 on all other platforms.
Right.
So again, we appreciate y'all. This was definitely a good conversation, brother. Thank you for coming on. Send some of your people our way, man. I see you chopping up with a lot of good folks as well. That's doing business, man. Hopefully we can get them on the Black Business Showcase to drop some game for us as well, man. Let's network.
If there's anybody you ever see on there you want, all it is a message. It's not and you gotta pay us, or people connect me all day. And again, helpareporterout.com. Get on there. If you're not, it's just it's magic. So definitely just let it be known, and it's done.
Gotcha. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And so am I forgetting anything? I think that's all of the particulars, right?
Right.
I think that's all of the particulars. So yeah, family, just remember, we are not the master teachers. We are only the master students and signal boosters for the voices of the new Black media.
And make sure you guys tune in on Sunday for another great episode of the Sincere Love of God cast. Thank you all for remaining on code. Be one family. Thank you again for joining us tonight. My possible cousin / Gemini twin brother. Thank you so much for everything. All the jewels that you dropped tonight. And thank you again for joining the Sincere Love of God cast. Thank you everyone in the chat for joining us tonight. Make sure you like, share, and we'll see you guys on Sunday.
Learned a lot tonight. Thank you, brother. Peace.
Thank you.
Peace.
Okay.